First, as Santaco, we condemn strongly the events that took place at Maponya Mall last night. It was rather unfortunate, especially because as operators within the transport sector, we should collaborate as opposed to being at loggerheads. We cannot confirm nor deny whether our operators were involved in that particular incident. This is because you would know by now that law enforcement is involved in this particular matter. Investigations are taking place, and so we cannot particularly say that we were involved or not. We would much rather allow law enforcement to do their investigations and get to the bottom of this. However, it should be known that as Santaco, we do not promote violence. If anything, we're appreciative of the integrated nature of the public transport sector in South Africa. Perhaps I should also say to you on record that in terms of the meter taxis as well as ourselves, we are not in any way trying to start problems with our colleagues who are operating e-hailing services. The challenge that we have, though, is that you've spoken about there being conflicting reports. It is true, because we're also hearing that the reason why what happened last night happened is because some illegal e-hailing operators were now hogging passengers and essentially offering them rides at a lesser rate. So you already see then that this e-hailing sector as well seems to have its own loopholes. But also you would know that it is very difficult for us as regulated operators in the public transport sector to talk about the e-hailing sector, because these people are operating on a foreign system, one whose leadership has been wanted for a while, because majority of the ways in which they are operating is quite questionable. The relations that we have as an industry with the e-hailing sector is one that understands that each should respect the other. And so that essentially means that they can have their people requesting and getting on their cars, but we also don't want a situation now where they come to our vicinities where we've been operating way before the democratic dispensation and essentially taking passengers. And these reports now to say that some of them were now literally approaching passengers and telling them that you don't have to request, you can come into my car at a lesser rate, is obviously challenging, but it's also concerning for us, because what happens then to the safety of commuters in this regard? And that's one of the other issues that we've been telling government about, to say this issue of e-hailing needs to be regulated quite closely, because now who are these people and who gets to determine why is it that they do the ways in which that they do, but also who makes sure that they are held accountable when such instances happen. So we understand their operation. We wish they understood our operations as well, but we've often found that in some instances, they tend to want to then come into where we operate. With regards to this particular incident, because I noticed on social media as well that people are saying that we are generally a violent industry, it shouldn't be that that is the case, especially because now this particular matter of what happened last night is a subject of police investigations, which means that at this point we don't know who is on the wrong and who isn't. And so we would really want to ask people to treat these cases on a case-to-case basis and not necessarily now generalize, because we also continuously happen to be the largest commuter of South Africans on a daily basis to varied amenities. And we're trying, we are a self-correcting industry. We understand that there are instances where we've found that we have been found to be wanting, but we are doing all that we can to better our services.